Good morning, everyone. This is Royce. Welcome back at you with yet another unboxing video. And today on the docket, we just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. Can't really tell right now because I tried to remove any distinguishing markings from this package that would label it, that would accidentally dox me. So, yes, this is a special item related to one of my favorite YouTube channels. Now, some of you may be like, Royce, what kind of YouTube channels do you watch? Well, I watch a few kinds of channels. There was a time when I was really into video essays, which tells you the kind of pretentious I am. Many an hour spent nodding my head sagely to Lindsay Ellis and, who else? What other political YouTubers did this? Oh, what's that one guy's name? The guy with the skull. Sean something? Nodding sagely to them going, yes, yes, our world is awful and I should feel bad. But I don't always want to feel miserable while listening to stuff, or while watching YouTube content, so I've got a few that I like. Recently, my big fave has been Bryn Daniel. He's kind of just a funny man, a fellow Iowan, with a cool voice, and the same kind of brainworms I got. Anyway, but one that I've held in high esteem since 2017 about is ba-da-ba-ba. Oh. There it is. Ba-da-ba-ba. Drawfee. Ooh, we have a lovely textured poster print of them here in some, I don't know what you'd call that, like pastels, kind of. So what is Drawfee? Well, originally they were a subsidy of College Humor, and if that name sounds familiar to you, you can guess where their story went. Drawfee was originally created by two artists of College Humor, Caldwell Tanner and Nathan Yaffe, where they would just draw stuff for like 10 minutes or so, do little doodles, and it kind of took off, at least on YouTube. Originally it was supposed to be for Facebook, because Facebook was doing this huge push where they were like, oh man, we have so much more traction than YouTube. And no, it did not. Delete your Facebook. Anyway. So eventually they were joined, and so eventually Caldwell left because he became an animator for Disney, which is ironic given one of his biggest comics for College Humor was giving Mickey Mouse penis fingers. And I'm being 100% sincere with that. Anyway. Eventually joining the crew were Julia Lepetite, another artist for College Humor, and a very interesting get for the show because she is a fashion designer by trade, but she also likes a lot of like horror stuff. Jacob Andrews, who's a self-taught artist actually, originally starting off as a web comic artist under the name For Lack of a Better Comic. And then finally, but honestly, probably most importantly, Karina Farrick, who is probably the most accomplished of the Drawfee artists, even including Caldwell, because she does webcomics. She used to be an animator for a professional studio. She did freelance work for College Humor. Like she has been around the block. She did all they did and more. Anyway, so as all of you some of you probably know, College Humor folded in late 2019, early 2020, and Drawfee had to go independent. Which, it's like, like there's not much else to say because, uh, it's just like a bunch of friends doing art together and trying to make it funny. So let's see. I think I should probably try to go over some of the characters in this picture. Okay, so most important, well, one of my favorites is probably these guys, the Draw Detectives, a mystery tabletop RPG series they do where Julia it plays the dungeon master, and well, that's weird. Chansey's not part of that. Well, anyway, Julia plays the dungeon master in the form of Jancy True, and they solve dumb mysteries with even dumber drawings. The Drawfee's main tagline is, where we take dumb ideas and make even dumber drawings. Let's see here. That gave rise to this little guy who is a kitty cat version of the orc character York. York the orc. Bleh. And then, let's see. You have their previous RPG series, which was a more traditional Dungeons and Dragons type series, starring them as a. Well, okay, so there's obviously like a dwarf, orc, human. Dwarf druid, orc barbarian, human rogue, and in the last season, a human psychic. Anyway, and then in their more traditional fantasy series, they had a halfling, a tiefling, and an elf. Now, what I like about this especially is that it actually has one of the first episodes I ever saw of Drawfee represented, where they drew Thomas the Tank Engine OCs. Now, you might be like, Royce, you're not one of those creeps who likes Thomas the Tank Engine, are you? No, but I do like taking the piss out of it. This is Julia's, this is Julia's cozy coop, Thomas the Tank Engine character, and I don't know how well you can make it out, but there's things coming out of it. A bunch of melted faces, just absolutely, ugh. It's like, again, Julia is very much into like eldritch horror, and you can especially see it in this split-faced man that she drew. Now, I believe this piece was actually drawn by Karina Ferrick herself. Again, amazing artist. Would love to get this autograph by her one day. And you can kind of tell because a lot of the stuff that is from her era, after she joined, is represented. Like, let's see. You've got this weird noodle guy. He's called Jacob Horse. You have her characters who are like two gay detectives. And like, I'm not saying that as a superlative. I mean, literally, it's her whole. I think the whole idea behind them is that they are both, or is that it's like, I think it's called Hot Guy PI or something like that. And the idea is that it's like a yaoi, and is that it's like a yaoi webcomic, but they're also detectives. I'm surprised that hasn't been done before. I guess Hannibal, kind of, but Holmes and Watson sometimes get that way. I don't know. The duck thing. I think that's Chris from Legend of Chris, which apparently they don't do that show anymore. Okay, so they started this thing called Bad Art RPG series, which they don't do anymore because apparently, like, the guy who helped do it did something, they don't like him anymore. Like, whatever, that's their business, I don't care. Weirdly, I think he might follow me on Twitter, I'm not sure. Or it might be a bot. There's a lot of bots on Twitter these days. Let's see, Oh, there's so, this is one of my favorites. So, they did this episode where they would combine silhouettes of cartoon characters and try to make a new character. And Karina got this like weird combination of Ida from Owl House and another character and made like this really creepy like biblically accurate angel critter. And then gave her a voice like a Vocaloid, which are those like weird Japanese VTuber singer critters that have completely synthesized voice. So all she would do is say, "Stop the violence." A lot of fun. Let's see. Yeah. One of their more recent infamous ones is Julia has trouble keeping things in her memory. Uh, I forget what the I forget I forget the actual medical term. She may not even have the actual medical issue, but that didn't stop her from trying to draw cartoon characters and have them guess who they were. This is supposed to be Bobby Hill. And when they found out that it was supposed to be Bobby Hill, she was like, everyone else was like, "What? No, no, it's not. It can't be." The funny thing is, like, she didn't get the head shape right, but the expression is spot on. Like, if you look here, that blank expression is on all of the Hill faces when they are on screen together. Like, you know, when they all group up right before Hank's head turns into the logo. Let's see, is there anything else here? In the cape of the tiefling girl, there's a room full of vampires, which is a running bit from an episode that they recorded and lost. There's a computer guy that I think was in a few of the things. There's a Pear Bear, which is absolutely adorable. Would buy a plush of him. Oh, and there's Sfeel. So Sfeel is okay. This one is going to take a little bit of explaining. So they did a couple videos drawing Pokemon from memory, and they ranged from decent to terrible. Nathan, the bearded one, has a pretty good recollection. He played most of the games. He's a bit of a fan. You know, he even played Pokemon Go and the TCG, the trading card game. Julia, however, never played Pokemon outside of the original one. She says that her big thing as a kid was Gundam, and that carries through today. She apparently is big into model kits and stuff, and I would definitely watch her building a model kit. Julia, if you're listening, model kit channel, I beg you. Anyway, so she was given the character of Sfeel, which I don't know if you can tell from the name, but is a spherical seal. It's basically just a cute little beach ball of a seal. But Julia interpreted the name as meaning, because most Pokemon names are portmanteaus, like Bulbasaur, it's a flower bulb, and it's a dinosaur. Anyway. Or Blastoise, it's a tortoise that blasts. Anyway, but Julia decided the portmanteau for Sfeel would be Skeevy Feel Up. So she drew a disgusting, like a balding cell phone salesman who's hunched over with his hands out, ha. And it's become sort of a running meme. Like, let's see. It's not in that one. I think I got two more Drawfee posters over here. I can't see it anywhere else, but it's supposed to be one of the most popular. If you literally look at their most popular episodes, I'm pretty sure the Pokemon episode is their most popular episode. Anyway, let's see. Is there anyone else down here? Oh, for some reason they drew a little I don't know, like a marmoset or something, a ferret, and they call him Todd from Mario because he's dressed like Toad. Anyone else? I don't know who this person is. What's weird is I'm pretty sure they're on both the other posters. Maybe it's their editor? Which is weird. I thought they employed several editors. I could be wrong, though. Anyway. But now, Drawfee's just one of those, fun shows that's just where it's it's kind of like what I try to do, where it's someone talking about their hobbies while doing something they love. These are artists drawing, I'm a fat guy eating. Theirs requires infinitely more talent than mine, but c'est la vie. Que sera sera. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you all had a good one. This is Royce Miller. I'm happy.